Veronica Moya's new book, to Elope in New York City, is packed with resources to help couples who have chosen to go down the micro wedding route in New York City. Veronica gives tips on how to hire high end and expensive vendors at a discounted rate. This new fascinating guide reflects the author's natural insight and abundant wisdom and experience in organizing thousands of unforgettable weddings in the Big Apple. She has infused her vast experience as a micro wedding expert in writing and curating this how to guide. Over the last 5 years, Veronica has not only become a veteran in the wedding industry, but also a dominant leader in elopement style weddings in New York City, which has continued to grow even in the face of the pandemic. After founding the city's fastest growing elopement company, Wedding Packages New York City, and the first ever Vegas style wedding chapel on Manhattan's Upper West Side, Love Chapel NYC, alongside her husband, which has received international acclaim by the likes of Fox News, NBC, The New York Post, Business Insider, and many more. It's my pleasure to welcome to the locker room, Veronica Moya. Hey, Veronica.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you.
I'm very excited that you're here with me today, too. And I was so interested when I was reading about you. At 17 years old, you founded a kids' entertainment company in one of my favorite places, Buenos Aires. Tell us about the company and how you got started at such a young age.
That company, isn't that funny when you look back in your life and you're like, wait, so I guess I had a knack for this back, I didn't even know what I was doing. I guess I just wanted to make money. Back in the day, there was no internet, there was nothing. So what I did, we used to, make actually handmade signs, and you post them in the grocery stores in the neighborhoods, right? So what happens, someone sees it, they call you, the first one calls you, and then it became massive. And I'm not exaggerating. I know everybody likes to, blow their own horn, but the truth is, at the time, I don't know if you know, but Xuxa was very popular back in the day. She's a supermodel from Brazil, and she did children's shows. She did, she was she had a children's show, and she was very popular. She was very pretty. And I was always a performer. I've been acting since I was 4 years old. So I'm like, everybody loves Xuxa. So I used to put this long, dress kind of like her with the boots and the pom-poms and the songs. And then I got help from grown-ups that work with kids, and they helped me create activities for them to do and games, and we had a little tunnel that they go through, and then we did like face painting. Anyway, the thing is, so obviously you start slow, you start wherever you are, right? Where you're at is where you're at. And then it just grew, and I had to actually hire hire people, my classmates. So we started with just the two of us, my best friend, and then we had other girls, because there's sometimes we were booked the same day for multiple parties. So yeah, that was my first. I never thought of of anything, but we did really good. We did really well. That was the last year of high school, and it's funny because after that I went and I got a job at McDonald's, because again, we loved America so much, and McDonald's was a big, well, it's very different over there. It was a whole thing. They had this training program, and it was like a club, like a little, all your friends work there, and that was great experience too. So I have a lot of, throughout the years, between performing. So I was always doing acting and singing on the side. It wasn't a full-time job, unfortunately. And then, so
very ambitious at a young age.
Yes, I guess so. But then I don't know. Then we stopped. You know how things are. Then my classmates, they went on to the university and doing other things. And actually I came here to study English for a year, and that's how my love for New York started. And then,
That's what I was going to ask you. Is coming here to learn English what brought you to the United States?
Yes. So originally that's why I came, to learn English. And then, of course, I'm a performer and I love musical theater. And back home at the time, there was no musical theater culture. It was very, very niche, and there was nothing. There was no way of. There was no. You couldn't take classes for musical theater. So that was a perfect excuse for me to. Oh, I had to be in New York. I have to go there and try it. And so I got into an exchange program, and I was taking classes. I went to the HBA. Oh my God.
HB Studios.
HB Studio. Yeah, the HB Studio.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Everywhere. I went everywhere. I worked with Miriam Fawn, Woody. I worked with a company in New York City, in New Jersey, a very talented duo of son and mother. He's a very good composer, and they did children's shows. So I was the green fairy in the. I mean, I had small roles because even now you can see I have an accent. So back in the day, a few years back, my accent, I bet it was even worse. So, I was limited here, but I had a great time. And then one day I discovered wedding officiating, which it doesn't exist back home. We don't have officiants in Argentina. You cannot do that. You either go to you have to go to the court to get married. And then if you're religious, then you'll go to a church or a rabbi,
right, temple.
Like
I didn't realize that. My best friend is from Argentina, from Buenos Aires.
No way, no kidding. Oh yes, well you can ask them. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
It doesn't exist. So when I learned that this was a job, I said, oh my God, I'll be great at it. I don't mind, I like speaking. I like performing, speaking in front of people. I love people. So I looked into it, and like everything in life, when it's meant to be, it just snowballed. It just became bigger and bigger. Before I knew it, I quit my job that I had. I was a manager for, I used to work in the health club industry, and what do you call it when you're in restaurants? The hospitality industry.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of experience managing and, doing payroll and talking to employees. So once again, then you when you look back in your life, you realize, oh, okay, so I guess everything was pretty organic. And the office.
Were you officiating before you became a coach?
Oh no, I've been so I said no. Coaching was since 2003. I started officiating in 2008, and the thing is that the wedding business just took over, Alan. And I don't know. I mean, there's not much I can say. Honestly, it has been for me, and especially these past 2 years. It's funny that you said with the pandemic, we really thrive. What's the past tense of thrive? But we thrive. But we had our best years the last 2 years. And so what happens is,
which is amazing.
Yes, but it's because we specialize in Central Park weddings and micro weddings, small ones. So everybody, that's all they could do, right? They couldn't have the traditional weddings. So there was no brainer. They came to us. And so, to be honest with you, I miss it. I'm working now on getting back to my coaching. I don't know if you know, I teach children how to meditate and how to develop their. Yes, I love that. I love children.
That's what I was going to ask. Your main focus is kids, and you believe in training the mind and spirit towards self-awareness and personal growth. Why do you believe that is so important for the younger generation?
Well, that is key for success in life. And nobody emphasizes that when you are learning, when you're in school. So when you're a young person, you're a child, all you hear is no, 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 sit up straight, go there, and you get your analytical mind super trained, right? You learn how to add and divide and multiply, and now they do code, and everything is the mind and a little mind, strategic constantly. But it seems like everybody has agreed to ignore the fact that only through your intuition and your sixth sense is that you can really thrive in life and go places. And that means getting out of your own way, putting the ego aside. It's a training like anything else. You have to train that part of your mind that we all have. You know it. You're an artist. Every artist, anybody who ever won an Oscar or has done terrific work with scene work. Like I remember I used to experience this when I was acting, the way you connect with the other person, the way you connect with the actor. This is not from, you're not thinking, oh, let me make this face. No, you don't. You're a terrible actor if you did that. The only way to do that is to be present, to be grounded, and to connect at a different level. And that knowing, that technique, you can take to all aspects of life. So then when you are trying to pick a school or decide what career to go for, or who to hang out with, or who to date, or who to hire if you have a company, if you're a CEO.
Yeah.
I mean, you must, I'm sure, casting directors. I always, many times when I'm a TV fan, I watch everything. And
Me too.
I always admire the castings. It's like, wow, and they're the most unsung heroes of any production.
Absolutely. Well, I want to continue and talk about Wedding Packages New York City. You founded this in 2015. What prompted you to open?
Right. So I did this at the end of 2015 after officiating weddings for almost like 10 years. I started 2008. So no. Okay.
7 years, but still,
7 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. But like everything in my life, and this is what I like to impart. This is why I like to teach those classes, because my success in life, I only credited my ability to get out of my own way and let things happen and just go with the flow. So on that note, what happened is that I learned as I was doing the officiating, I started learning what people wanted and what they needed. And then I started giving it to them, right? You learn, you get all these calls, people call for information and, oh, it's just the two of us. Oh, it's just my family. Oh, it's small. Oh, it's in our backyard. Oh, we're going to my friend's house. And I learned that was code for, we don't want to spend a lot of money. So slowly I said, okay, what do you need? What you definitely need for a wedding is two things. The main two services that you need is the wedding officiant, the person to make it legal to marry you, and photos. You always want photos, right? So my first packages started back in like 2010. And I just had a photographer. So it was me and a photographer. And then I started offering a little bouquet. And I used to make the bouquets myself.
Wow.
Imagine. I mean, just because I wanted to keep it cheap and I want to save money. Anyway, so, you grow and learn. And then, of course, one thing led to the other. And then I realized that there's a real need for this. It was a niche, wedding packages in New York City, focusing specifically in people that want to elope or they want to have a destination wedding. New York City is an amazing city. I don't know why everybody goes to Vegas to get married. Here we have, the Central Park is, well, I don't have to tell you, it's gorgeous.
You just, right. You don't have to tell me. And I'm fascinated about Love Chapel NYC, because did anything like that exist here in New York City before you and your husband started it?
No, it doesn't, and it still doesn't. So we are the only one, and that's all him. So that was his dream for many years. While I was doing the weddings in Central Park, he always wanted to have a place, a chapel. And again, we're always thinking about Las Vegas and say, why can't New York City? Because it's super easy to get married here. You get your license today, you can get married tomorrow. You only wait one day. So
it really is surprising, though, when you think about it, right? The most beautiful, the largest city in the world, that didn't exist. So kudos to him and to you.
Yeah.
for doing that.
So that too came out of need. He's a headshot photographer, corporate headshot photographer. So with the pandemic, he lost his job, and he's also a wedding officiant. He's an interfaith minister, but he lost that job, and now he's sitting around, and he's like, well, it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect time. The rent prices went down for commercial spaces. So everything worked out. He got, we found this beautiful space a block away from Central Park, because, I love the park and I think it's great for photos. So, we've been
there's truly, Veronica, there is nothing better for photos,
yeah,
especially wedding photos.
Yes. So yeah, we've done
Nothing
really,
better.
really well. The chapel is busy every day. We've had days with 16 weddings. We start at 9 a.m. and and it's economical, it's simple, it's easy, and it's pretty. You get to sit, especially still. Can you believe that City Hall still is giving you a hard time to go there and get married? You need to make an appointment. And when you make an appointment with City Hall, you can only bring one person with you. That's it.
Wow.
And then you go through the metal detectors. And like, who wants to do that? So, my goal is always to make things easier for people, to facilitate. So that's how my company was born, and the church, the chapel was born. It's not a church. I'm sorry. The chapel.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
No religion.
And that was a perfect segue into writing this book, I would assume, How to Elope in New York City. It was just released. What prompted you to put it all down on paper?
The billions of questions that we get every day. So after, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's always the same questions. Everybody wonders the same things. And between that, so the book is a true guide for a New York City wedding, whether it's big or small. I specialize in small weddings, but it's useful for anybody. So even if you're having a big wedding, it's useful because it helps you think of things that you didn't think about before, things that you can ask your vendors, the way you should approach them, what you should consider when hiring a wedding planner. Many, many things that fall through the cracks many times that people don't think about until it happens. And then it is your wedding day and it's way too late to do anything about it. So I give a lot of advice based on my own personal experience, because we had a hilarious wedding in Central Park 6 years ago, and we made every mistake. Yes. Every mistake, everything that I tell you not to do, we did it. And but that's great. So it makes for great storytelling.
And we only learn by those mistakes.
Yes. I learned it the hard way. And this is why, no, but seriously, this is why I urge people. I mean, the book is an easy read. It's like, I think you can read in an hour. And it's helpful. And you can feel my desire to be of service and to help you avoid the mistakes that I made. Oh, here's mine. That I made. And then, because it's too late, when it's already, it happened already. And I thought I was doing everything right. So yes.
Is there one tip that always surprises couples most?
Well, okay, yes. I'm going to put my husband. Okay, so my husband also wrote a book called How to Officiate Your Friend's Wedding and Not Screw It Up. His book, it doesn't have the bestseller thing, but let me tell you, he's making $300 a month selling that book. How many, his royalty is like $4 a book. So do the math. How many are sold each month? A lot. Many books. That means a lot of people are having their friends or family members officiate their wedding. Yeah. One of the tips I give you in my book is don't do it. Don't have a friend officiate your wedding. You should have a professional. And I explain why. And the number one reason is because relationships change. And this happens so many times. It is so sad. People, I don't know, they fight, they have a falling out, even with family members. And then you will have this person there, in every photo, every video of your wedding. So that's the first reason. And there's many other reasons. So that's my personal pet peeve. Do not
Okay.
employ your friends for your wedding, even for photography. And I go into detail in the book, and I hope I am persuasive. I can paint a very good picture of why.
Well,
Even if you
you're
no, we all have friends that are good photographers and they want to take photos, and that's great. You can let them take the photos, but please do yourself a favor and hire someone. Hire a real photographer that is working for you, that you can boss around and you can tell them what to do. You want to have that, and you don't want to do that to friends because it creates tension. They are anxious, they are nervous, emotions run high, and they want to please you, and you put them in a difficult position. Yeah, but that's my take on it.
okay.
I think I'm
I
right.
love that. One last thing before I let you go. Congratulations on being named one of the top 10 entrepreneurs to watch out for in 2021.
Thank you.
That bravo. What drives you, Veronica? What motivates you?
Motivate. I'm a fixer. I like to fix things. That's what drives me. Something is wrong, and I'm like, I can't take it. My husband has to hold me back when I show up for my weddings. I start doing everyone's job, because I have staff, I have a team of people that are doing, whatever they are doing. I'm like, no, move that, put that over there. I'll make sure, and this is why I think I didn't work out as an actress. Because you cannot have this person. You cannot tell the director how it goes. Yeah, I have a funny story about that, but that's for another day.
I love that. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If
Thank
you
you
are
for
considering,
having me.
you are so welcome. If you are considering eloping in New York City or know someone who is, please pick up Veronica's new book, Where All Books Are Sold. Veronica, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Alan. My pleasure. Awesome.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.